Is the role of the storyteller just to get applause at the end of a show? Or is there something more? Does the actor, does the storyteller have a responsibility to take the magic of storytelling beyond the walls of the theater, beyond the barriers of the screen, and influence the story of the human race? And this was a question that I really wrestled with in college. I had a professor who talked about the power of story to renew our hearts and renew the heart of our world. I witnessed the power of storytelling as a volunteer in Northern Ireland at a Center for Peace and Reconciliation, meeting with in-depth interviews with civil rights workers up and down the East Coast, and really seeing the power of stories to change the world. I wanted to ignite a movement that would all be about storytelling. I did not know where to start. My job out of college was for my comedy group and I to become full-time, and in the meantime I was working a day job with kids, and those kids kept telling me to read Harry Potter. I didn't want to. It sounded like a really, really stupid fad, but I finally picked up the book, the first book, and read the first chapter, and something shot through me which said, this book just changed your life. But then I grew frustrated because if Harry Potter were in our world, he would do more than simply talk about being Harry Potter, or like many people in the fan community were doing in amazing ways, celebrate how awesome it is to be Harry Potter. He would also be fighting for justice in our world, the way he fought for justice in his. The problem with that, of course, is where do you begin? So we started off with the Imagine Better Network doing programming and campaigns such as The Odds in Our Favor, which is about economic equality, which comes right out of the Hunger Games, or Superman is an immigrant, because Man of Steel came out, it's a blockbuster movie, and Superman comes from another planet, he comes to America without papers, and yet no one questions his status as American as he fights for truth, justice, and the American way. But now we're bringing together privately, in a private Google group, anyone who's a fan activist from any fandom to figure out how we can organize together. And then these campaigns aren't run by me or by anyone in the HPA or even the Imagine Better Network. The network is what's running it. Well, we couldn't think of a better ally than the American Library Association and libraries in general. And we see them as pockets all across the country, these places that are just ready and ripe to celebrate literacy, but also celebrate the communities that they're in and really do serious civic engagement from those communities. And I think a lot of people don't always think about that. So we think that there's a tremendous symbiotic opportunity here for us to help get people to think more about libraries as centers of civic engagement, and also for libraries to provide us this nationwide network infrastructure to build chapters there. So our chapters normally exist in middle schools and high schools and colleges and in communities, but we have never had any in libraries where librarians could help facilitate. But really, by facilitate, librarians already have enough on their plate. We're not asking them to put too much more, so much as to say there's a Harry Potter Lines chapter here to provide some guidelines, to provide a space, and to provide question and answer if people need some guidance. What I'm hoping that will come out of this is that we will help elevate libraries to be even more centers of civic engagement than they already are, and libraries will help us be spreading fast in terms of chapters, and that together we can show the world that fantasy is not an escape from our world, but an invitation to go deeper into it. And libraries are really the center of those invitations, because libraries are the center of all of the greatest stories ever told, written down in one place. There's computers, there's access to all of this knowledge, access to people with knowledge and curiosity and intellect, and we can take that power and put it into our communities. So I really think this is a symbiotic relationship for both. And then to take that and coalition with young people who are active and ready to stand up and tell our Congress and tell our state Congress people, libraries matter. And if you mess with libraries, you mess with the core of democracy. You mess with the intentions of our founders, of Jefferson's belief that we need an educated populace, Benjamin Franklin being the founder of the lending library. You mess with the heart of humanity when you cut the humanities. So we hope to work together with libraries to raise the profile of both.